All right, I would like to welcome everybody to the September 25th Town Board meeting. We are going to start with a public hearing before we move into our actual Town Board meeting. The clerk will read the notice.
Please take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Warwick will hold a public hearing to consider introductory local law number 2 of 2025 entitled Exceed the 2% Property Tax Cap. Said public hearing to be held on Thursday, September 25th, 2025 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard at the Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York. A complete copy of the introductory local law is available for inspection in the clerk's office and/or the Town of Warwick website, townofwarwick.org. All interested persons will be given an opportunity to be heard.
Thank you. This notice was published as per New York State law, and it is something that's basically been done every single year, whether the town intends to exceed the tax cap or not. The reason that we do it is because we continue negotiations, we continue to get prices for next year's contract, and if the town board sets a budget and then we get an unforeseen cost or a revenue shortfall and we have to exceed the tax cap in an emergency basis, we will have the opportunity to do so if we choose. Now, I can just tell you that as we continue to go through the budget, we are seeing shortfalls in many revenue sources that are incredibly high for the town. So sales tax is one that is going to be projected as lower next year. Mortgage tax is already lower this year than it was last year, and it's projected to continue to be lower. And interest on earnings is lower. Those three combined revenue sources are the largest revenue source for the town of Warwick, second to property taxes. So this is a very difficult budget that we're working on right now, and we will continue to work very hard with our department heads to bring forward a responsible budget for the town. Are there any comments from the board before we open it to the public for the public hearing on the tax cap resolution?
No.
Any comments from the public on local law number 2 during your public hearing? There being none, I make a motion that we close the public hearing on local law number 2.
Second.
Seconded by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Public hearing is closed on local law number 2. At this time, I will call to order the September 25th, 2025 Town Board meeting. If you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would the clerk please call roll?
Supervisor Dwyer?
Here.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Here.
Councilman Manley?
Present.
Councilman Shudak?
Here.
Okay, all are present except for Councilman Cowell. We have one announcement. It is located in your agenda packet here as addendum number 1, something that is very important to us in the town of Warwick, especially at this very moment. The town of Warwick is going to declare October Breast Cancer Awareness Month, whereas the town of Warwick is a community that cares deeply for the health and well-being and dignity of every resident, and whereas breast cancer affects families in every neighborhood and remains a significant public health challenge, touching the lives of women and men across our town, and whereas early detection through regular clinically guided screenings and prompt follow-up care has been shown to save lives, and whereas advances in research, treatment, and survivorship care are made possible through the dedication of clinicians, researchers, advocates, caregivers, and volunteers, and whereas our local healthcare partners, including hospitals, medical practices, and community organizations, work tirelessly to provide education, screening access, treatment, and support services to Warwick residents, and whereas this month offers a special opportunity to honor survivors, remember those we have lost, stand with their families, and recommit ourselves to awareness, prevention, and compassion, and whereas increasing public awareness through education, outreach, and community events encourages residents to speak with their healthcare providers about individual risks and appropriate screening schedules, and whereas the town of Warwick supports activities that uplift patients and families, recognize caregivers, and promote research and access to care. And now therefore be it resolved that I, Jesse Dwyer, Supervisor of the Town of Warwick, together with the Warwick Town Board, do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the Town of Warwick. And be it further resolved that the town encourages residents businesses, schools, and community organizations to join in activities that increase awareness, support those affected by breast cancer, and promote conversations with healthcare providers about screening and early detection, and be it further resolved that the town facilities are encouraged to participate in appropriate displays of support during the month of October, including pink attire, ribbons, lighting, and educational materials as permitted by law and policy. No second is necessary. Be it declared. Back to our agenda. I make a motion that we accept the regular meeting minutes for September 11, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I make a motion that we pay all audited bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. The correspondence is listed as addendum number 2 in your packets. Are there any comments from the board on our correspondence?
No.
There being none, we'll move right into reports of boards and department heads, beginning with Police Chief John Rader.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I have a brief report tonight. Applefest is going to be on Sunday, October 6th in the village of Warwick. All residents should anticipate traffic congestion in and around the area of the event for the day. The following roads will be closed from 6 a.m. until approximately 8 p.m. South Street from Main Street to Clinton Avenue, High Street, Smith Street, Railroad Avenue, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Street, Parkway, and Park Lane. We'll have heavy police presence before, during, and after the event. Secondly, drivers are encouraged to use caution driving through the Village of Florida due to ongoing construction. Delays and congestion should be anticipated. And just a little note to the board, on Sunday, September 21st at about 6 p.m., we received a call for an alarm sounding in one of the units at Burt Farms. The first arriving officers encountered a heavy smoke condition in that unit. Prior to the arrival of the fire department, our officers were able to make entry into several other units and safely evacuate the residents. Warwick Fire Department arrived and quickly extinguished the fire, keeping it confined to that one unit. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation by our detective unit. That's all I have, unless there's any comments or questions from the board.
Any comments or questions from the board? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Commissioner Astorino, DPW report.
Good evening, everyone. So we've been out and about. We did some work on Stonehenge and Newport Bridge, where we built the catch basin and installed 18-inch by 60-foot of culvert pipe under the road. Ditch work, we ditched Pine Drive, Little York, and Amity Road. We finished our paving schedule with Kane Road, Ketchum Road, and Cascade Lake Road. We are out and about mowing with both mowers town-wide. Potholes, we're filling them with hot mix. I would like to thank Councilman Schuback. We did some road work on Round Hill Road, and he reached out to the farmers out there, and we were able to do a long stretch of that road with some ditch dirt that we had. We built it up, seeded it, and that went a long way, Kevin. Thank you. We will be building up the edges there with Ward paving. That'll be the last of what we have to do, and we'll get that done hopefully soon. We're hauling some item 4 into the town stockpile, and our vehicle maintenance, we are in the process of making sure every truck is up and running and getting ready for the winter season inspected. So, any questions? Just have a good evening.
Thank you, Ben. Okay, next will be Water Sewer Deputy Commissioner McPherson.
Good evening. Very brief report tonight. Yesterday into late last night, we worked with GCE to repair a leaking water line in Pine Island. We replaced around 60 feet of pipe that goes underneath County Route 1 and has been a problematic section of the water system, having a few leaks over the past few years. We now have a brand new section of pipe going under the road there, so hopefully that is one less headache for that water system. We have our guys out doing quarterly meter readings right now. They're going house to house in Wickham Village area, Belleville Park, and the Uric Heights areas. Meter readers and the meter reading should be complete by next Tuesday. We're Aiming to turn off the West Side Greenwood Lake Summer System water on October 15th. We'll be draining and breaking down the system in the Indian Park area and Furnace Brook area the following week once the tank is emptied. We're also tentatively scheduling to do seasonal hydrant flushing the third week in October, but I'll coordinate with the supervisor and the chief to let as many people know a hard date once we have one for that. Other than that, the wastewater treatment plants have been operating okay within compliance the past several weeks with no noteworthy issues. That's all I have.
Any questions for Matt? Thank you, Matt. Rec Director Walter.
Thank you, Supervisor. The park continues to be busy, especially on the weekends, with fall weddings in the lodge and plays in the theater. We also have the local Boy Scouts from Troop 38 coming out to the park for a camp out. We love when the Scouts come out to the park because they always do a service project, whether it's picking up any litter or trimming back the trails. They do a great job at the park for us. The pools at the park have been drained, so there's no water in them now. And the repairs will start mid-October, along with the construction of the new wading pool. We have the community swimming survey still available, so if you haven't taken it yet, please go online, check out the town's website page or the Facebook page, and take the survey about community swimming. And I just wanted to say a few quick thank yous. We have some volunteers that help out at the park. We have Pat Corcoran, who's been running a pickleball league at the park, and that's just about over now. I want to thank Pat. We have Sustainable Warwick that finished their pollinator garden at the park. It looks beautiful. That's up by the courts. That's done. We had Sean Walter come out to the park and help repair the bridge that passes the small creek. He did a great job with that. And we had Mark Yasika helping put the blazes on the trees for the trail that I'm sure the supervisor's going to talk about the ribbon cutting soon. Also want to thank two DPW workers for their help with the trail. One was Anthony and Barney. They did a great job using recycled materials to make the tree blazes. That's it.
Great. Any questions for Sam? Thank you, Sam.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go right into town board reports, beginning with Councilman D'Angelo.
Okay, good evening. The Warwick Humane Society had a very successful For the Animals golf fundraiser. Thanks for the golfers and the sponsors who made it possible. They raised much-needed funds to help them care for over 200 shelter residents. The Humane Society will be at their usual spot at Apple Fest with a booth on South Street at the railroad tracks with animal-related items for sale. Be sure to stop by. And due to the high number of animals in their care, their supplies are very low. Donations from the following can be left at their door anytime. They need bleach, simple green cleaner, paper towels, paper plates both large and small dog biscuits, catnip, edible rabbit toys, and always pate canned cat food and kitten food. So if you feel like donating to them, they really need that donations. As far as the Town of Warwick Friendly Visitor Program goes, they're having 2 volunteer training days in October, on the 15th at 5 o'clock and the 28th at 5 o'clock. Now, these are virtual training dates, but you need to be pre-approved to attend a training. So if you think you're interested in helping out with the Friendly Visitor Program, you can dial 845-986-1124, extension 400, and leave a message. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Councilman Mattingly, your report, please.
As Chief Rader mentioned, and as Councilman D'Angelo mentioned, the 35th Annual Apple Fest is Sunday, October 5th from 9 to 5 p.m. In the Village of Warwick, you already know, back for its 35th year, Apple Fest will be Sunday, October 5th, rain or shine, and feature over 150 craft vendors, 75 food vendors, 4 music stages, pie baking and eating contest, and a kids carnival. 2 ribbon cuttings coming up, 8 and Sand on Friday, September 26th at 4 p.m., 1214 Railroad Avenue in Warwick, the Village of Warwick. Join us for ribbon cutting of 8 and Sand on Friday, September 26th at 4 p.m. Try one of their coveted cocktails and perhaps find out the meaning behind their name. Also, Cafe Dolce PM ribbon cutting on Wednesday, October 1st at 4 p.m., located at 8 West Street in Warwick. At the previous location of the Warwick Wine Bar comes the deliciousness of Cafe Dolce, but with an evening twist, featuring adult beverages and a moody ambiance. This will become your go-to cozy casual spot. In the Village of Florida, the Chamber of Commerce is actually holding its chamber mixer recognition for Robbie Jacobs right now at E.P. Jansen Nursery. That's going, like I said, going on right now. Pine Island Chamber will hold its Pumpkin Fest on Monday, October 13th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Pine Island Park, Bouncy House, Touch a Tractor, pumpkin painting, and more. And finally, the Greenwood Lake Chamber of Commerce would like everyone to know they're holding their Savor the Lake Greenwood Lake Chamber of Commerce Restaurant Week from October 17th, from October 6th through 17th. At participating restaurants, find your new favorite eatery in Greenwood Lake. And you can check gwlnychamber.com for more events and information. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Schuback, your report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Also on events, the Pine Island Firehouse is having a chicken barbecue this Sunday, and the Polish American Legion is having one on October 18th. That's all I have to report.
Great, thank you. Town Clerk Astorino.
I have nothing to report.
Nothing to report. All right, easy meeting. My report. The Department of Transportation project on the Route 94 17A corridor continues. The bulk of the work was targeted to end by October 15th. They really didn't want to continue working beyond the apple picking season, as we see a heavier traffic volume throughout Warwick. I did get a call a couple of days ago indicating that they still had some work to do in the area of Pennings. They have to finish the guide rail on that culvert that they just rebuilt, and they are hoping to mill and pave from the Jersey border to Pennings and the ShopRite area. And they're hoping to do that before the end of October. I spoke with Pennings today, and you know, if we can get those contractors out of that area this year and not push this work off to next year, it seems to make a lot of sense. So it's still up to the state, but the state will not allow them to proceed without support from the town. And we do support having the contractor continue the work and getting out of that area, and then focusing on the roundabout that will be built in the Ox area at Reservoir Road and Route 94. And that's hopefully going to be done next year, early on in the year, as they did all of the site work and the preparation work so far right now, and they seem to be pretty much complete with that and wrapped up. And hopefully they can kick off with the roundabout very first thing next year in the building season. There's still some work ongoing in the Village of Warwick. They're continuing to finish up the sidewalks and do some of the ancillary work around the sidewalks. They're also continuing to work in the Village of Florida, and you know, continue to leave yourself some extra time as you're moving throughout Warwick, as we have to do, the police have to do, DPW, and you know, as we're driving around Warwick all day, it takes a little bit more time to get around, but it's all in the sake of progress. So hopefully these projects will get wrapped up soon, and we can have our streets back, and then look forward to nice new paved streets for next year. The town-wide culvert replacement project, that was a very, very rapid expansion of protecting our waterways and our water systems and our roads and bridges. That project is complete in its entirety. GCE was our contractor that won that bid, and they finished the project ahead of schedule by about 3 days, which was fantastic, and we think they did a great job. So a lot of people worked together to make that project successful, and we're very thankful that it all came together in the end, despite many, many challenges, and we overcame, and it's 100% complete. As Commissioner Astorino mentioned, the town paving has been completed. Line striping is the next step, and we're hoping that that will be done within the next couple weeks. Okay. Mountain Lake Park Pool, we're going to begin the process of constructing a new pool at Mountain Lake Park, slated for the second week of October. Obviously, we didn't want to begin until after the season ended, but we still have plenty of time to get that project done before the winter. So that will begin, and then next year the kiddies can have a new wading pool to bathe in, and that will get some more space for the adults to swim in the bigger pools, and we think it's going to be a home run. The bike hike trail, again, more projects that are either underway or complete. The bike hike trail is 100% complete. This is a combination bike trail that connects Amity and at Newport Bridge area. Essentially, it was a natural bike route that was not a defined bike route, and it is now a defined bike route on both bike maps as well as signage that indicates share the road between cars and bikes. And that goes both ways, by the way. If you're a biker, single lane, don't take up the entire road. You'll get crushed by an apple picker one of these days. So try to ride as safely as you can. The other component to this project was a 2-mile trail that connects Hickory Hills County Golf Course with Cascade Road. Some people assumed that this would get you to Cascade Lake Park. That is not the case. The route is from Hickory Hills Golf Course through the woods, through county and town-owned land, will get you to a parking area on Cascade Road. There is an optional additional component that will take you from that parking lot to Cascade Lake. We do not recommend you take that route unless you're physically fit, wearing bright colors. You're walking in a roadway. It's not a sidewalk on the side of that. The bigger focus for us was to create a recreation trail through the woods connecting Hickory Hills and Cascade Road. We've got a beautiful parking area, an incredible bridge, and a 2-mile trail that is a one-way trail. So you can either do one way, 2 miles, and then come back 2 miles to your car, or you can arrange to have a vehicle parked at the other end of the trail and drive you back to your vehicle. I would say it is a moderate to difficult trail only because of the incline on the Cascade Road side. It's a bit of a steep incline, but for the most part, there are no rocks in the way, there are no major tree stumps in the way, there are some man-made stairs that we put. The funny thing about this trail was there were components of ADA compliance that we had to take into consideration. It is impossible for this trail to be in any way ADA compliant. So I just want to make that clear. We strive to make everything possible ADA compliant, from our facilities to our parks and everything. You cannot make a trail through the woods that's 2 miles ADA compliant. So I apologize in advance, but I want to make very clear this is not an ADA compliant trail. There's a beautiful bridge, a very nice custom looking wooden timber bridge that goes over Longhouse Creek. So Samantha Walter came up with the wonderful name to name the trail, the Longhouse Creek Trail. And again, many people put in a lot of work on this trail. It was originally conceived about 20 years ago when some federal funding was secured, but we weren't able to begin construction until earlier this year after crossing many loopholes. The county had to acquire some extra property to make sure that we had contiguous land to get us from one county-owned property to the town road on Cascade Road. It was a very difficult trail to navigate. There was one person from HDR, his name is Eddie. He basically lived there at the trail for the entire time, and he almost single-handedly navigated this trail through the woods and marked it and brought the contractors to the final point. So I give all the credit in the world to Eddie for doing a great job and really putting his heart into this trail. It was very difficult because on paper, you have an engineering firm, which, by the way, the engineering firm was from Pennsylvania, 4 hours away, has never been to Warwick a day in their life, and they were supposed to design a trail that received all of the approvals, all of the environmental reviews, and everything was done. And we had to essentially rewrite the entire trail the moment we started. And you just wing it as you go. And you have setbacks, and you continue to make progress when you can. So very, very challenging trail to build a trail essentially by hand, 2 miles through the woods. But it was a great partnership all around. Everybody put a lot into it. And it's complete. And the reason for me saying this is it is now open. We're having a ribbon cutting at the Hickory Hills Golf Course parking lot, and it's on the trail. You cannot miss it. There's a big sign that says hiking trail, and of course, federal government required rattlesnake sign just below it. As if people are unaware that there are rattlesnakes in our area, we had to put a sign just as big as the welcome sign with a picture of a rattlesnake on it. Not by choice, but by mandate. And we're going to have that ribbon cutting on Monday, September 29th at 12 p.m. And again, that will be at the Hickory Hills Golf Course parking area. And by all means, bring your hiking boots and some water and hike the trail. Wickham Sewer, there's really no update at this point. We're anxiously awaiting a decision by one of the 3 grant funding agencies that we have submitted grant funding for, and we hope to receive some word this fall or winter, about whether or not we've secured funding for the Wickham Sewer District. Jane Street Bridge, just updating the board that the design continues to be underway. It is a very lengthy process to get this done, but a very important process is setting the foundation for a correct design. I meet with the design engineer weekly to get updates on this, and everything is progressing as planned. We have a meeting coming up with the affordable lots, so if you check the town code, and we're going to put some information out there kind of announcing very soon a lottery that will be conducted for an affordable lot within subdivisions that are being built in the town of Warwick. This is something that has been on the books in the town of Warwick for over 20 years, and yet there have been no lotteries for these affordable homes as part of the subdivision process up until right now. We've got 2 active applications, developers rather, that meet the requirements of having an affordable lot. And when I say affordable lot, this doesn't mean Section 8 housing. This means if you're building an $800,000 or $900,000 house, the affordable lot will have to be similar to those $900,000 houses, but they will have to be approximately $575,000 to $600,000 in cost. So some of us might look at that and say that is still not affordable, but it is a formula that is dictated by our town code as well as the state of New York based on current interest rates. Again, we will make further announcements and more details about that in the coming weeks. We are currently in the process of negotiating our contracts for 2026 with our PBA and CSEA. We have meetings upcoming, and we're going to continue to work on that. The town board is going to accept a recycling proposal tonight with our current contractor to extend for another 2 years. The town of Warwick is looking at doing a feasibility study on having solar installed on town property, and some of the ideas that we have are covering the PD parking lot with solar, basically installing a covered garage that will allow those vehicles to be protected and sheltered during the winter while also generating electricity for the town. Other options are installing solar on top of the DPW flat roof to generate some electricity to offset our costs. So tonight, you will hear us adopt a resolution entering into an agreement with a company that will do a free feasibility study. They're a state grant-funded agency, and their main purpose is to help municipalities determine whether or not solar will be an appropriate option for us. So we'll be doing that tonight. We have 8 parcels that are currently in the works or have active applications for PDR. So we thought this process was going to slow down a little bit. A lot of the big parcels, the 300, 400, 500 acres, have been mostly secured in PDR. We're looking at a 100 acre, a 70 acre, 57 acre, 60 acre, 30 acre, 17 acre, and a 66 acre lot. So 100 acres or less, that's kind of what we're looking at now. The bigger farms have basically either had their development rights acquired by the town, or they will never be interested until their properties are sold. So we are still working very hard on ensuring that even the smaller lots within the town of Warwick are preserved, as long as they meet our qualifications and they fit within our community preservation plan. So working really hard on continuing to preserve Warwick when possible. And that concludes my report. We will open it up to privilege of the floor on any agenda item. No? Okay. We'll go right into new business and resolutions, beginning with addendum number 4.
Motion granting permission to the following applicant to serve alcohol at the Town of Warwick Park's rental facilities. All applicants have filed a certificate of liability and liquor liability insurance in the town clerk's office. Warwick Valley Gardeners, Mountain Lake Park on October 26th. Natalie Kozo, Mountain Lake Park on October 25th, 2025. And Karen Detcher, Wickham Woodland Manor on November 1st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt local law number 2 of 2025 to exceed the 2% property tax cap. Whereas local law to override the tax levy limit estimated in general municipal law section 3-C was introduced on September 11, 2025, and whereas a public hearing was held as required by law on September 25th, 2025, to consider the adoption of said local law, and whereas the town board had considered all comments received and has determined that the adoption of this said local law is in public interest. Now, therefore, be it resolved that said local law to override the limit on the amount of real property tax that may be levied by the town of Warwick, county of Orange, state of New York, in pursuit of general municipal law 3-C is hereby adopted and saved.
Second.
So again, the reason, just to reiterate, we're doing this because it gives us the flexibility, if needed, to override the tax cap. We do not, at this point in time, intend to override the tax cap. This gives us the flexibility in an emergency setting to do that. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion authorizing the supervisor to sign a renewal agreement with Nearmap Imaging for software in the amount not to exceed $2,500.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept the resignation of Animal Control Officer Matthew Sanick, effective September 14th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept a proposal from RS Landscaping LLC for the maintenance of the Guardian Cemetery property and Old Dutch Hall Cemetery for 2025 in the amount of $19,080 per month for both sites.
Second.
I mean, 1,900, so excuse me, correction, 1,980.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to refund the remaining escrow in the amount of $1,686.25 back to Saffron Baron LaRoe Ridge Developers for a completed planning project at 2 Ridgeway Loop, SBL number 181-82, as per letter dated September 5, 2025, from the Planning Board Secretary.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to refund the application fee of $250 back to Courtney Herman for the rental of the Wickham Woodland Manor House.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to create a part-time position for the water and wastewater maintenance worker pending Orange County approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to appoint Joseph McNamee as a part-time water and wastewater maintenance worker at a rate of pay of $25 per hour, pending Orange County approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept the following schedule of fees for the Wickham Woodland Park Wedding venue for residents and non-residents as follows in the table below.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with Municipal Solar Partners to conduct a feasibility analysis and site project of potential solar projects.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt the following resolution, that the Town of Warwick Town Board hereby appoints J&G Law LLP to represent the town in a tax cessation proceedings commenced against the town to contest the 25-26 assessment rolls. The cases are as follows. Coteria, Alaska, index number EF006433-205.
You just say as listed below.
Pardon?
As listed below.
As listed below, okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the following budget transfer from mileage A 00.00.111.0.440 to Special Department Supplies A 00.00.1110.466 in the amount of $500. Repairs A 00.00.1110.456 to Special Department Supplies A 00.00.1110.466 in the amount of $700. From Training A 00.00.1110.480 to Special Department Supplies A 00.00.1110.466 in the amount of $1,500.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to appoint Taylor Rader as provisional account clerk, grade 4, step 1, as specifies in the CSEA contract at a pay rate of $20.91 per hour, effective September 26, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to renew the lease from the Greenwood Lake Boat Launch property off East Shore Road with the Palisades Interstate Park Commission for 5 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Just want to make a clarification. The title of this resolution should read Seeker Notice of Intent to Serve as Lead Agency for the Town of Warwick for the petition to amend zoning law on behalf of Highway 3 LLC. I'll make the motion. Motion to adopt the following resolution. Whereas the Town of Warwick has received a petition to amend zoning law on behalf of Highway 3 LLC for the premises located at Section 94, Block 4, Lot 55.2, consisting of approximately 2.9 acres in the Town of Warwick, the project. And whereas the Town Board of the Town of Warwick has determined that the project constitutes an unlisted action pursuant to 6 NYCRR Part 617, and whereas pursuant to 6 NYCRR Part 617, the Board of the Town of Warwick intends to serve as lead agency for the seeker review of this unlisted action, and in this capacity will determine if the proposed action will have a significant effect on the environment, and whereas the lead agency will undertake a coordinated review of this listed action. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Warwick has determined that the project constitutes an unlisted action under 6 NYCRR Part 617, and hereby designates its intention to serve as lead agency for seeker coordinated review of this unlisted action, and will circulate the lead agency notice together with a full environmental assessment form to all involved and interested agencies, who shall be given 30 days from the mailing of the lead agency notice to challenge the Town Board's lead agency designation. The clerk will do a roll call vote.
Supervisor Dwyer? Aye. Councilman D'Angelo?
Aye.
Councilman Mattingly?
Aye.
Councilman Shuback?
Aye.
Let the record show 4 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstain, 1 absent. Councilman Cole's absent.
Thank you.
Motion to adopt the following resolution, whereas the John and Jesse Wood Trust, the trust, owns a certain parcel of land known as tax parcel Section 51, Block 1, Lot 4.42 on the tax map of the Town of Warwick, the property located on Route 94 South in the Town of Warwick, and has offered to sell the property to the Town of Warwick for the sum of $100,000. And whereas the Town of Warwick, the town, has identified the property as being a significant gateway and scenic view shed within the Town of Warwick, and whereas the town has also identified the property as a possible walking and bike path facilitating a multimodal network of pedestrian and bicycle paths throughout the town, and whereas it would be in the best interest of the town to acquire the property for $100,000, sum of $100,000. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved that the town board authorizes the town supervisor to execute a contract of sale with the trust, subject to review by the attorney for the town, for the purchase of the property, said contract being conditioned upon the town completing a satisfactory appraisal of the premises in the amount equal to or exceeding the purchase price, and the town supervisor or his designee is authorized to execute all necessary documents to effectuate the purchase of the property, and this resolution is subject to a permissive referendum pursuant to Town Law, Article 7.
The town clerk will do a roll call vote.
Supervisor Dwyer?
Aye.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Aye.
Councilman Mattingly?
Aye.
Councilman Shuback?
Aye.
Let the record show 4 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstain, one absent, Councilman Cole is absent. This resolution is subject to a permissive referendum as said before. The aforementioned resolution shall become final unless within 30 days from this publication, a petition protesting the order and requesting a referendum signed and acknowledged by at least 5% of the owners of the taxable real property or 100 such owners, whichever is the lesser, within the proposed district shall have been filed with the town clerk at the town of Warwick.
Okay, at this time,
The-
we'll- is there- oh yeah, I'm sorry.
The town clerk handed me one additional resolution. I believe it's R2025-352, is that correct? 353, I'm sorry. And it would be to authorize supervisor to renew the recycling contract with Interstate Waste Services. I make a motion to authorize supervisor to sign a contract with Interstate Waste Services for 2 years to renew the current recycling contract.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. At this time, we'll open it up to privilege of the floor on any general topic. Okay, there being none. The next meeting will be Thursday, October 9th, 2025 at 7 PM, and there will be a workshop as early as 5:30 PM that same evening. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Did, I think,
What,
751. Jesse?
No, we got it.
Jesse.
We did the resolution. Yeah, they did the resolution. Yeah. Yeah.
No, we passed the resolution.
Yeah, past the resolution, yeah.
listening to the resolution.
Yeah, we passed it. Okay, if you already know if you,
I didn't have to do anything, all right, fine.
yeah.
Easy money.
Easy money, we approved you.
Are you in the email, are you Brian?
I'm the other.
Okay, so I know there was some correspondence going back and forth on what needs to happen, but, you know, the board doesn't object to the process, okay? Go through the process, environmental review, public hearing, and...
Are they gonna try to throw a little bit more, do a little further on that, Rondo?
There will be, yes, that's the next step.
If you get time, yeah,
Hopefully, right, if it's not snowing, get it there.
right.
I would say,
Everyone's,
Well, I have a note here, it's very important to, the applicant should be directed to submit a
One of these
full
days,
EAF
we'll have to take a look.
distribution with the.
Let me
I know all the
introduce-
intern there,
let me introduce you guys to
Bobby Howell, and that whole
something.
group keep busting.